Hi, happy Thursday. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Gail Ballin, Healthy Mama B, and we are going to have an amazing chat tonight. So we're going to give it a couple minutes, wait for folks to join, and I'm really excited because a couple of things have happened this week that I'm going to share with you, and we're going to be talking about moms and how awesome moms are, and how fabulous we are to the world, but how sometimes we just don't take care of ourselves. So, like I said, my name is Gail Ballin, and I'm the founder and CEO of www.healthy-mamab.com. And usually I'm all dressed up. I've got my hair done, I've got my makeup on, I'm wearing something beautiful. But I didn't get all dressed up tonight because it's been a heck of a week. My daughter and I traveled to Charleston over the weekend to visit my parents. We had a great time. Then we got back Sunday night. I left early Monday morning to go on a business trip. And it's just been crazy. I haven't been to the gym once, but I was able to get a couple of miles in while I was traveling and walked around the airport, walked around Charleston, did a little bit of running, and it was fabulous. I also am very excited. I don't know if you've noticed my hat, but while we were away, we designed some what we're calling bee wear. And so I wanted to wear my new stuff so that you could see it. And here is my top, be healthy, be happy. And on the back, it says Healthy Mama B with the website on it. So I'm really psyched because I think it's really cute. I love my little bee. So anyway, how cute is that? Mother's Day is this weekend. And so for all of you moms out there, happy Mother's Day. You deserve a day that's just as wonderful as you are. And I hope that your day is amazing and that your kids and your loved ones do some pretty incredible things for you. I wanted to focus tonight's chat on a couple of things that moms do. We really do this often, and we tend to take care of other people's needs before our own. And this isn't just a mom thing. This really is something that a lot of people do. Women do it, men do it, but moms, because Mother's Day is just around the corner, I wanted to just set a reminder that it's important to take care of ourselves too. You know, putting other people's needs before my own was something that I was really good at. As a matter of fact, I was so good at putting everyone else and everything else before myself that I completely neglected myself and really lost myself for quite a while. And that allowed me to spiral out of control and reach almost 300 pounds. About 17 months ago, I made the decision to lose weight. And since that time, I've lost 113 pounds, and I'm really proud of my accomplishment. I feel so good about it because I had tried and failed so many times. And I feel empowered to help other women and men who have struggled with getting into the right frame of mind to take care of themselves and to get on track with their health. And that's really what Healthy Mama B is all about. So if you feel that any of your friends or loved ones could benefit from Healthy Mama B, please send them to the website, have them subscribe, have them get the Get Started guide so that I can get some information to them and help them on their way as well. You know, it's important to remember, I say that I've lost all this weight in 17 months, and it sounds easy, but it wasn't. It wasn't easy at all. It was a lot of work, both physically and mentally, and sometimes I think that the mental part was harder than the physical part, and that's why I'm so dedicated to helping other people. Healthy Mama B is something that I do regularly. I write, I post on Facebook, I do Facebook live chats, and everything is free of service. It's done because I want to help other people, and I feel like it's something that I have a calling for. And I'm a master's prepared licensed therapist with over 25 years of experience with helping other people overcome their obstacles and achieving their full potential. And I finally got to the right place to overcome mine. So today we're going to talk a little bit about how we can overcome taking care of other people and learn how to take care of ourselves first, because that's really a critical component if you want to start getting into a healthier lifestyle. Okay? If you behave like me, then you put other people's needs before your own. It's probably the way that you're wired. And if you process thoughts the same way that I do, then you have a belief system that if you put other people before yourself, then you are likely to be a kinder, warmer, more nurturing person. And if you believe that you put yourself first, then you probably think that you're selfish and self-centered. And you may have this irrational belief that if you put yourself before other people may think that you're selfish and self-centered. That's not true. It's not true at all. But these are the things that we believe because these are the roles that we've taken on. You know, let's talk about your roles for a moment. Think of all of the roles that you have in your life. You're likely a parent, you're a child, a friend, a spouse, a partner, a son, a daughter, a coworker, a niece, a nephew. The list can go on and on. We each have multiple hats that we wear and different people in our lives that have different roles. And each of these roles comes with different obligations that we feel we need to fulfill. You know, when I say obligation, it sounds like such an awful word, doesn't it? It sounds like it's something that you actually have to do. But when you love somebody, you really want to make them happy. You want to put their needs before your own, their wants, their desires. You want to put all of this and their interests before your own. You want them to feel just how much you love them, and you want them to feel listened to, appreciated, understood. You want them to be happy. And we think that if we put them before us, we will be able to achieve this. All too often we have the tendency to put others before ourselves, and in doing so, what happens is we put ourselves to the very back of our own line. But when you take care of yourself first, and I want you to just stick with me for a second, when you put yourself at the front of the line, you're better equipped to take care of other people. When you put yourself first, you're centered. You're at peace. You're in a better space. There's a level of happiness and self-awareness that you achieve that allows you to completely focus on the other person rather than having your mind race in a million different directions. When you take care of yourself, you feel more productive. You feel happier. You're more energetic. More respect from others because other people see that there's a level of confidence in you. You radiate energy. You likely have better relationships because you're partnering better with the people in your life because you're taking care of yourself. You're likely to be less stressed because you're doing the things that you want to do. Oftentimes, at least for me, I felt less fear and anxiety because I didn't have to worry so much about the things that I had to do because I was actually doing some of them for myself. I felt a lot less stressed, a lot less resentment because I wasn't putting other people's needs first, and less depressed too. So does it mean that you're terribly selfish when you take other people's needs before your own? No, because when you put yourself first, you can identify your needs better and you can take care of them. You can prioritize your health and encourage others to be healthy with you. You can learn to say no, which is tremendous. For years, I could never say no. And finally, I'm in a place in my life where I'm able to say no. And it feels really, really good. Because ultimately, I didn't want to do it anyway, but I did it because I felt obligated to do it. So if you put yourself first and you put your needs first, you're going to be able to turn people away. And I'll give you an example. If I have a friend that asks me to watch their dog, for example, okay, but I know that watching their dog is going to, it was just for a couple of hours, let's say, is going to interfere with a schedule of mine. If I'm not going to be home, let's say I was planning to go to the gym in the morning and I needed to watch the dog in the morning. In order to do that, I would have to give up the time that I have at the gym. I can't do that because I need the gym time in order to get my center in order for me to feel good about myself. I'd be happy to watch the dog in the afternoon. I'd be happy to watch the dog on Sunday when I'm not at the gym. But if it interferes with my personal schedule, I'm likely to say no, depending on the circumstances. Okay? There are other ways around it. I could say yes and take the dog for a walk with me. There are other options depending on the friend and the circumstance. So I am somewhat flexible. But that's an example of where sometimes you have to put what your needs are first. And it may sound like exercise is not such a big deal. Oh, you can exercise anytime. Yeah, you could. But there are certain classes that I like to take that are at certain times during the day, and I have my own routine. And while it may sound selfish to some, it works for me because this is how I maintain my life and my lifestyle and my weight. And that's what's most important. Because by maintaining my weight, by sticking to my routine, by staying on track with my exercise plan, I feel good about myself and I feel good about my choices. And when I feel good about that, then I project that out and things in my world are a whole lot better. You know, most often when you wind up putting yourself first, you feel happier with yourself. So you tend to be a little bit, fulfilled. You feel more fulfilled. And, a lot of people have said that in conversations that I've had with them about losing weight and about making time to schedule, time for meal planning and time to go to the grocery store to buy healthier foods rather than eating out all the time, and taking the time to, work in workouts throughout your week. The reasons that I hear that people can't do it is because, they have to work late. They have to take care of their kids. They have to be home for their spouse. And I get all that. That's life. We all have those responsibilities. But ultimately, you can work with it. You can work around it. Take your kids with you to the gym. If they're going to soccer practice, walk around a little bit. Drop them off. Go work out. Come back. And taking care of yourself does not necessarily mean working out. You have to define what that means for you. For me, for many years, it was not being able to take that time to meal plan, to go to the gym, to think about the things that made me happy. And I can do all of that now because I allow myself to. So even though people may say that it's selfish to put yourself first, look at it from another perspective. And you may not agree with me, and that's okay. But being a people pleaser makes you feel good normally, right? When you please other people, it makes you feel good about yourself, and it makes you feel liked, and you want to be liked, right? Most people would agree with that, I think. And if you agree, please, press your little thumbs up button so I can see what your reaction is to that. But ultimately, that's kind of selfish too, because it's not about you. The fact that you have reservations about being selfish indicates that you're not selfish at all. Most selfish people don't have any regard to whether they're selfish or not. Think about the most selfish person that you know, and question whether or not they even realize that they're selfish. Do they even have the insight to realize that? Likely not. So the fact that you're even questioning that makes you not selfish. So, putting yourself first doesn't mean that you don't respect and consider others' feelings, but instead you make a deliberate choice to take care of yourself. That's really what it is. It keeps your cup full so that you don't overflow and that you don't feel a sense of pressure. Think about, I can remember a time when I was giving and giving and giving to my job, giving to my family, and I have no regrets about it at all. But at the end of the day, at 11 o'clock at night, when it was time for me to go to bed, I was absolutely drained. There was nothing left for me. Even if I wanted to read a book to chill out a little bit at the end of the day, there was nothing left. There was no brain power. There was no capacity. There was nothing. And I remember laying there thinking to myself, oh my God, I don't even have 5 minutes for myself. This is terrible. And I was blaming my circumstance for that, right? I was blaming the kids' schedules, the homework that they had to do, my job. I was blaming everything, not my children, but the circumstance. And ultimately, it was my choice to be in that position. It was my choice. And until I learned that and restructured, things didn't change. So, you know, for years, I lived this altruistic lifestyle, you know, putting everybody first. And I finally learned that it's okay to not do that all of the time. Do I still do it? Yeah, I do. I'll be honest. I do put other people first, usually my children, my boyfriend. It's just the way that I am. But I also put myself in there too, and I put myself in there a lot. I'm at the gym all the time. This week is an exception, but most of the time, every week, I'm here at the gym. Well, not here, but at the gym. And I work hard, you know. I work hard during the day. I love my job. I do a great job every day. And at the end of the day, I'm done, and I take care of me doing the things that I want to do with the people that I love. So let's talk for a couple of minutes about how. How do you get out of the mindset of, you know, being at the back of the line, and how do you slowly move to the front of the line? Well, the very first thing that you have to do is to stop caring what other people think. And I know that as you get older, this gets easier, because I remember when I was in my 20s and my teens, my 20s, my 30s, I cared so much about how other people thought about me that it was ridiculous. Now that I'm in my 40s, well into my 40s, I really don't care. I don't care at all. And if you feel that people are going to stop liking you because you're going to say no, or because you're going to put yourself first, then those are probably the people that you don't need to have in your life. You know, just think about that. I'm not saying cut people out, but just think about it. You have to stop caring about what people think, and you have to do what's best for you. So if that means you finish dinner at 7 o'clock and you say, kids, let's go out for a walk. We'll start homework in half an hour. Then you go for a walk and you start dinner a half an hour later. Really, it's the end of the, it's not the end of the world. The second thing is, you know, take pride in who you are, and take pride in being a wonderful caregiver, because it's a wonderful quality to have. It's just a beautiful thing to be such a good person. But evaluate whether or not you're a martyr. Who are you doing it for? Are you doing it for yourself because you want to feel good about you, or are you doing it for them because they really need you to? Evaluate that. You know, are you doing it because, and I hear this very often, are you doing it because you don't want to take care of yourself? So you put everybody else in front of you as a way to block you taking care of you. I did that. I did that for a really long time. It was a wonderful excuse for me not to take care of myself, not to diet, not to exercise, not to eat healthy, not to do anything. I took care of everybody, so that was the best excuse in the world, because, hey, you know what? How can I take care of me when I'm such a great person that I'm taking care of everybody else? Nobody's going to judge me for being fat if that happens. But you know what? At the end of the day, really, it was not, you know, hindsight is always 20/20, but it was not the greatest excuse ever, really. What I did is waste a lot of time rationalizing, and I should have just put myself first and done what I needed to do a long time ago. You know, there's also this other fear that if you stop taking care of people, right, you're never really going to stop taking care of people, but if you stop putting people first, then they're not going to need you anymore. That there's going to be that they don't need you, you know, but the people who love you are always going to need you in their lives. So if you're doing it because of this, you know, possible codependency, or because you want them to just be a part of, you know, this life that you have, and you're doing it because you want to keep them close to you, evaluate that as well. Ask yourself, why are you doing it? Number 4, listen to yourself. You know, what are you saying to yourself? You know, what do you want to do? Do you want to go out there and do stuff? Or do you want to just help other people constantly? Think about the things that you say to yourself and listen to what you want. Okay? Number 6, learn how to say no. Learn how to say no. That's a big one, and that's a tough one. Learning how to say no is probably the hardest one on the list, Well, besides stop caring about what other people think, that's a tough one too. A lot of these are not easy, but when you learn to say no, it frees your soul. It is like the greatest feeling. I remember the first time I said no to a project at work. Oh my God, it was the most liberating thing. And I don't do that very often. If somebody asks me to do something at work, I wind up doing it because I like to have a lot on my plate. But ultimately, I have to tell you, it felt good to be able to say, no, sorry, I don't have the bandwidth. I don't have the capacity to do it. I'm going to have to turn it away. And it was liberating because you know what? That means that I could leave work at a reasonable time and I could really just do things for me, spend more time with my kids, because that was on my list of things to do as part of taking care of me was spending more time with my family. You know? Number 7 is making yourself a priority. You have to make yourself a priority. If you don't take care of you, then who is going to do it? And then last but not least, make time for the things that you enjoy, things that are going to fuel your soul and things that make you happy. For me, and this sounds crazy for those of you who have known me for a long time, but for me it's exercise. I love it. It fuels my adrenaline. It makes me feel alive. It makes me feel phenomenal. I love to move. And when I don't have that, I feel yucky. That's what drives me. And I'll tell you, this week I had mentioned I'd not been to the gym and I'm feeling kind of blah. So I can't wait to get back to the gym tomorrow and go on Saturday. I just can't wait to do it again. So figure out for you, what is it? What is going to make you feel happy? You know, I was talking to my mom last weekend when we went to visit, and we were talking about happiness and defining what happiness truly is. And it was a hard thing to do. It's really hard to define what makes you happy. But if you're not quite sure what makes you happy, then really sit down as part of your exercise here, not physical exercise, but mental exercise to learn how to put yourself first, and write down 5 things that you really want to do to take care of yourself that would make you happy, and start there. And then just start on number 1 and start carving time out of your world to do it. You know, one of the things, and I'm going to have a blog that comes out tomorrow that I wrote back in February, but I've been saving it for Mother's Day because it's called a motherly introspection. And it talks about how I struggled with always feeling like if I took care of me, it was going to be taking more away from my children. And all I wanted to do was give my children as much as I could. You know, I worked a tremendous amount of hours in this job that I had years and years and years ago. And it took me away from them. And I felt that when I was not with them, I should give them, you know, when I was with them, I should give them everything that I had. And I did. And it wasn't healthy for me. You know, and it's funny because we talk about it now when they're older. My son is 19, my daughter's 15, and we talk about it. And I said to them, I go, you know, I feel so guilty. I feel guilty because all of those years I had spent, you know, flying all over the country for business trips and doing all of these, you know, things with work, and you know, it really was because I had to, not necessarily because I was so driven to do it. It's something I had to do to make a living for my kids and my family. But the funny thing is, they don't even remember it. They always remember me being with them. They always remember me loving them. They always remember me being here with them. And, you know, in hindsight, I wasn't really away as much as I thought I was. It felt like I was, but I really wasn't. So think about the things that are going to make you happy, and check out my blog tomorrow. And I'm really curious to see how you think about that. So if you remember nothing about tonight's discussion, and hopefully you'll remember a few things, remember this. You are living your life. This is yours. You've got one shot at it. You got to make it the best it's got to be. Do whatever you want to do to make yourself happy and to get to the place where you want to be physically and emotionally. Okay? You cannot be expected to please everybody, but you are expected to please yourself. So think about what you can do to accomplish that. Apply what resonates about what I've talked about tonight and let it sit with you. And take from that what really hits you and use your own wisdom and make it your own. And if you do all of this, you're going to start to practice these ideas. You'll soon go from being somebody who gives and who is possibly relentlessly drained to becoming a giver who is prosperous, who is happy, somebody who gives it their all and feels good about it, because not only are you giving your all to others, but you're giving your all to yourself too. And that's my message for tonight. Mothers, happy, happy Mother's Day. I wish you all the best. Check out my blog tomorrow. It's called Motherly Introspection. It comes out early tomorrow morning. And, you know, for those of you who have not subscribed to my website yet, please do. There's some really great information out there. And I would love it if you could share this and any of the information and original content that I provide to your friends and family. My goal is to really get the message out there that if I can do it, anybody can do it. So please do that if you can. I'd appreciate it. And I think that's it. My website is www.healthy-mommab.com, and I have some new stuff out there, so check it out. We have 5,500 followers on Facebook, which is unbelievable. So every week it grows and it grows and it grows, and it's amazing to me how this just it has evolved. So thank you all for your support, and take care of you. We'll talk soon. Good night.